drives me nuts when everyone says, "What's the special thing about
That's right.
Africa?"
Yeah.
The special thing is that we're all consumers and we all want the best possible products that are out there globally.
Yeah, and people can see these kind of things. I mean, Africa doesn't live in the dark, right? So they have, from my point of view, exactly the same needs, the same interests that we all have.
That's not a problem, though, is it? That's not a problem.
No, but the problem is indeed for the Africa developers, to develop products in Africa with a local flavor, as an example, with the culture background and such kind of things. And then again, I mean, how can I, based on the stuff that I do, I mean, I'm not just going to do this for free. How can I make, as a developer, how can I make some money living out of it? Some of the developers even said to me, what we are going to do is we try to get popular, and then we are going to be bought by a telco or something like this. This is the way how we are trying to make money at the end of the day, because these traditional ways of making money, this is for us, at least at the moment, relatively difficult. So getting bought is
Silicon Valley.
most easy.
Yeah, it does.
But sure, an example could be music. So the operator, music company partnerships seem to be working with Spotify and Deezer. Yeah. There's a huge appetite for music in this continent.
Sure.
You could easily see.
But just go to Spotify and try to figure out how much music you find from Africa with the local African touch. Yes, you do hear the Eminem and all these big guys from America or from England, as an example. But any stuff from Africa.
But does not operator billing enable that ecosystem to develop because they have a way of monitoring?
Yes, but it has to happen.
Yes, and Wolfgang's point is well taken. It has to happen. As I was talking earlier, we have to, the operators have to come halfway. We as the billing providers, let's call them that, need to come halfway. I think to go back to your point about local developers. So, in the Mozilla Firefox community, we've been working with local web developers for some time. Literally, there's dozens of thousands of them across Africa. I know over 2,500 developers that are actively working, here in South Africa. They want to transition to mobile. They are learning how to transition to mobile as a web community, but they haven't yet figured out how to make money. And we're I think all of us are teaching them how to make money, which is, fundamentally you can get involved in, freemium models, paying for additional transactions, and getting operator billing going as the primary way, as the only large-scale way that's going to happen over time. But there's lots of local developers in all of these markets that want to do sports applications and local games applications and get the local pizza shops and restaurant guides and all those things out there, if they can figure out how to make that work. So they're just on the edge.
This point about everybody going halfway, if some sort of initiative or forum or something coming to needed to make this thing happen? Because it's crazy
been dozens of initiatives and
they haven't worked. So what's going to be needed for people to?
I think it's just we got to roll our sleeves up and do it. So in every market, and I think Google and everybody's involved. In every market, we just have to get in the room with the operators in that market. We have to get in the room with the app stores and the enablers of this, and just work out the details.
So is Chris saying that maybe it's prioritization?
It is. It is exactly right. We just got to prioritize this in every market.
Peter, you've gone quiet on me.
Well, you don't really allow me anymore. I'm a bit surprised about the focus on operator billing, because for me that's a kind of payment method of the past.
Okay.
It's a very expensive method because of the airtime commission we have to pay in it, and ultimately it's a margin game. Also, I'm a bit surprised about all the worries about paying providers in Africa. I mean, we pay people every day, and it is not that complex. We either pay them through the bank or through mobile money or other means. So happy to explain how that works and help you guys there.
Thanks, we'll take some help.
No, that's fine. I think the other thing is, when we all talk about we want to do this for Africa. I mean, what I see in MTN is that most of the European and American players are so busy still in America and Europe and potentially Asia that they don't have time for Africa yet. So I think that's probably one of the bigger issues, and it's not a concern. It just means that as operators we play a bigger role.
And do you think they're missing an opportunity? By
no. I think they're giving us an opportunity. To be honest, I totally agree with you.
I do not agree perfectly with you, because I'm pretty sure that Google, Facebook, and Mozilla, as well as Intel, we also do recognize there is 3 or 4 billion people that can have and should have in the foreseeable future access to all information.
I'm not saying you don't know, but
and that's the reason why we are investing. I mean, this is not like we are just sitting there still and saying, yeah, it's a very low. It's a very nice and interesting market, but we are going to go back in 15 years from now. This is not the case. I think all of us, all of the companies,
we would love to see that.
investing in Africa. I mean, we keep on developing products. We try to get at the price points that makes it possible for people, to buy these devices that are just a little bit better than just a feature phone, as an example, and such kind of things.
So Peter, what are your thoughts in terms of how we need to, how we should monetize, or how we can help the developers and content companies to make money from content?
I don't think the monetization is the issue. We have so many tools to monetize content and apps, and we've been doing that for many years. So that's not really the issue. I think the issue is to find the right interfaces, and there's been technological challenges to get from the small app developers into our massive networks, and we are fixing it now by building systems which interface between those third parties and our networks, and we have many app competitions and app programs in most of our markets to start doing that. So I think it's mainly about educating the app developer market on how to develop and how to make things so simple that it's easy to roll out.
So it's interesting, so you have apps developer programs,
yes,
which is interesting because those of us who followed North America and Europe the last 6, 7, 8 years, you look a few years ago, every operator had a developer program in Europe and North America. They shut them down, most of them. They couldn't make it work. So have you looked at the mistakes in Europe and North America and said, we can make it work for this reason, and what is that reason?
Well, I mean, I've made the mistakes in Europe first before I came down here. So
right. Okay, that's helpful.
So now we know, but again here it's all about if everybody does the same in every market as they do in Africa, then probably we wouldn't have so much role to play for the app developer market. But again, as the big internet companies are still very, very busy developing their markets elsewhere. I mean, we talked about the music industry. Yes, they're very busy in Europe and they focus on international music, no African music. We focus on African music because we are in Africa.
And so how do you get the apps onto the device? Are you basing it all around Android, for example, or...?
Well, we have our own app stores as well, so we run it through our own app stores and sell it through them.
And as the continent moves towards smartphones, you're confident that you can retain that position as an MTN App Store?
Yes, I mean, as long as you have better content, it's no problem at all.
And you'll do that in every market in Africa, or just be selective in terms of the bigger markets in Africa?
Well, I think we will start the markets where we are present, but ultimately we can do it in every market.
So where are you along that journey of you say you have app stores, so on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you today in terms of what you want to achieve? Are you at 2 or are you at 4?
Well, we're quite ambitious, so I'd say we're far from where we want to be, but we're making very good progress on the on taking the next steps, on centralizing a lot of that, on improving the user interface continuously. Mobile money, we recently announced a deal with Visa where you can use your mobile money wallet as a credit card, which enables actually purchases from all those app stores, so we don't have to wait for the operator system or the iOS providers to...
So you don't really need these guys, apart from, I guess, if they're providing devices to you?
No, we would need them, but we need them to work at the same pace as we do, so we're not going to wait for them. That's
interesting. Okay, we've got the message. So I just like to wrap up with just a brief discussion around what I started to call apps for good. And there are some great comments from Anthony Masunga from Botswana Telecom yesterday, all about apps around healthcare, education. We saw the Ericsson image yesterday, and clearly your point taken, Wolfgang. Yes, people here have the same needs and desires for game music, etc. But mobile can do more than that in terms of leapfrogging existing technology processes in education and healthcare. Is there anything that can be done to stimulate the creation of apps which are good for society and serve specific needs?
Well, if I could go back, the web has been doing web for good for some time. Medical, training, all those things. Education has been there on the web, and people use it. In Africa, where it's going to be a mobile-first experience, it's a question of getting those same same information, packaged differently, no doubt, but that same information out. I think that partially it's a cost and complexity issue. So, you know, when you're doing, let's just call it an educational app for the local school children, you know, it takes you X amount of time to build it, to get the content right, and so on and so forth. I think that if you're building a native app, it's, you know, costs X to do it. If we can teach people how to use the mobile web, which is I believe a lower cost mechanism of using both the same content, but also but using the development experience, you get the speed of innovation that needs to occur. And that's where we're at. We're just waiting for the speed of innovation to catch up and move the web content.
And while I have your attention, when are Mozilla devices landing here and at what price?
Well, that's up to the operators, not up to us. We're being asked to support the operators in actually deploying Firefox OS for 2014, but I can't announce what the operators do.
Do you think operators need to subsidize?
That's a great question. In many ways, no, I don't think they need to subsidize, but there has to be an expectation that the device is going to be an entry-level device, not something, you know, at high end, and that's the key. We built Firefox OS to work at the low end deliberately so.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think we're going to wrap up. Unless anybody has any final comments? No? So, sorry I didn't get a chance to ask questions from the floor, but I've got a light in my eyes and I couldn't see anybody. So I hope you enjoyed the panel session. I thank everybody for being very honest, and I think it's pretty encouraging. So I've done a lot of operator internet player discussions, and this is one of the best ones we've done in terms of win-win situations. So thank you very much indeed to all the panelists.